Namaskar everyone and welcome to the Geeta Satsang. So let us start with the Prarthana. By the Guru's grace and the will of Sri Krishna, we have all assembled for this Geeta Satsang. May we have their guidance to be able to learn and adopt the things which will help us to grow spiritually. Let us chant the Shlokas. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतः क्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः। रामानुजदयापात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकं। यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुग्म व्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये। So with prayers at the lotus feet of the Acharyas, let us go to our topic for today. So in the previous satsang, we had taken the 24th and 25th shlokas. Today we will take up all the remaining 4 shlokas of this chapter so that the 5th chapter will be completed by the end of today's satsang. So in shloka 26, Lord Krishna explains to Arjuna. He says, Kama Krodha Viyuktanam Yatinam Yatachetasam Abhito Brahma Nirvanam Vartate Viditatmanam. So in this particular shloka, Krishna is talking about some people who are called as Yati. Yati is somebody who is a sannyasi, somebody who has given up all desires. So for those sannyasis who have broken out from anger and lust by constant effort, those who've been putting a lot of effort and have come out of this bondage of kama and krodha, those who have subdued their mind, they have brought the mind under their control, and those who are self-realized, they have focused their attention on the Atma. For such yatis, for such sannyasis, the liberation from material existence is both here and hereafter. It is going to come very soon for such persons. That is what Krishna is explaining. Here, when he uses the word Brahma Nirvana, it refers to the sukha, the stage where somebody is experiencing the joy of Atma Anubhava. Atma Anubhava means to be reveling, to be enjoying, to be having experience of the Atma. So that is an extremely pleasant state, and such a state where somebody is having Atma Anubhava Sukha, that is called as the stage of Brahma Nirvana. Now, this is very easy for certain types of people only. Who is that? As we said, somebody who is self-realized, somebody who has given up their desires and anger, and someone who is focused on the Atma alone and has won the mind. Such are the qualities of somebody who is a sannyasi. Now, here the important thing to remember is, by the nature of our mind, it will always want something to focus upon. So if we want to control the mind, then we need to give the mind something bigger and more powerful than the mind itself, and then it will be controlled. This is like, you remember the story that is often told of Akbar Birbal, that once Akbar drew one line and then he asked that anybody who is able to make this line smaller without erasing any part of it. So it should become smaller, but nothing, you should not use an eraser or erase out that line. So then what Birbal did, he went and drew a bigger line in front of it. So what happened? Automatically, in comparison to the bigger line, that line which Akbar had drawn became smaller. So like that, if there is something which you want to reduce its influence, you have to make it to focus on something which is bigger than that item itself. So if we want to control the mind, we can achieve that. We can learn to control the mind if we are going to focus our attention on something which is bigger than the mind, something which is more powerful than the mind. And what is that which is bigger and more powerful than the mind? It is the Atma. So the mind does not have any jnana. The mind is only acting according to certain impulses which are coming. But what is it that has jnana? It is the Atma which is having jnana. So the Atma is superior to the mind. And if we learn to focus our attention on the Atma, then we are able to control the mind because the Atma is superior to the mind. So by focusing on Atma, we can attain mind control. So somebody who has done all these things is a sannyasi, and such a sannyasi only is able to attain moksha, is able to attain liberation. So these sannyasis, such sannyasis will be in the state of Brahma Nirvana. They will be constantly experiencing the joy of Atmanubhava. That is what Krishna is explaining in this shloka. Now, in the next two shlokas, he is giving a brief introduction to how is it that one should focus on the Atma? How should one indulge in that practice of focusing on the Atma? In the next chapter, which is the sixth chapter, he is going to talk in detail about all these things. But here, just like a short trailer before the actual movie, Krishna is giving a brief glimpse of what is that we have to do to be able to focus on the Atma. So in the 27th and 28th shloka, they are related to each other, they are in continuity, so we will take them together. So he says, Sparshan kritva bahirbahyam chakshushtvaivantare bhruvoho प्राणापानौ समौ कृत्वा नासाभ्यन्तरचारिणौ यतेन्द्रियमनोबुद्धिर्मुनिर्मोक्षपरायणः विगतेच्छाभयक्रोधो यः सदा मुक्त एव सः. So he's saying that you should stop connection with all external forms of enjoyment. The sparsha with bahya vastu, all that should be shut out. So if you're going to shut out all those thoughts of external enjoyment, that means you're going to close your indriyas. And when you close your eyes, you're not going to completely close it. Rather, you're going to shift what the eye is focusing on. So your gaze has to be fixed on the space between the eyebrows. So if you know, between the eyebrow, between the brows, we have this central space. So Krishna is saying that give up all connection of your mind, stop thinking about external objects of enjoyment, fix your gaze, turn your eyes inwards to the space between the eyebrows. Then equalizing the flow of the incoming and outgoing breath in the nostrils. So you keep the flow of the air through your nostrils equal. By doing all this, you can control the senses, mind, and intellect. Somebody who does all this, such a muni, such a sage, who becomes free from desire, fear, and anger, he always is living in the state of mukti. He is always in a state of freedom. Normally, what happens, we think that mukti means liberation, which is going to come after we give up this physical body. That is not necessarily true. It is possible for somebody to be Jivan Mukta, to be liberated, even when they are residing within this body. When do we say that somebody has reached that stage of Jivan Mukta? When he has all these things which are mentioned in this shloka. So, what all is it that Krishna is telling us to do? He's saying, cut off your connection with external objects, push aside those thoughts. Turn your eyes and your gaze, your vision inwards, and focus your sight, your vision on the space between the two eyebrows. Sit in a proper place, sit in a proper posture, and perform the act of pranayama. Now, actually, when Krishna is telling in the shloka, he is telling about equalizing the prana and apana vayus. Now, for us, that is not technically possible because we have never practiced pranayama properly. But at the very least, what we can do is we can try and control the amount of time which we are using for inhaling, holding the breath, and exhaling, and make those at least equal. The mind, the indriyas, the buddhi, all of these have to become controlled. When somebody has attained all these three steps, that kind of a person is called a muni. It is told, Mananashilaha Munihi. A muni is someone who has done all these things, and because of that, his attention is solely focused on the Lord, on the Atma. Such a Muni is only entirely focused on the Atma. He has given up fear, anger, and desires, and he attains the goal of Atma Sakshatkara. This type of a Muni is always in the Mukta state. Although he is still alive and having his life breath and he is having this physical body, he is considered as a Mukta. So, what is it that we can learn from this? For us, it is not possible to have this kind of focus all the time. What is the greatness of the Muni? That these things that we are telling, the control of the mind, buddhi, and indriyas, the giving up of fear, anger, and desires, constantly focusing one's attention not on the external objects but on the Atma within. This is something which a Muni or a sage is doing at all the times. He is always in this state. Even if he is engaging with this world, he is still internally focused on the Atma alone. So, for that kind of a great Muni, it is very, easy for them to be in that state. What about people like us? We are ordinary people who have no practice of all these things, and we are very much caught up in our worldly activities. So, for us, the Acharya's advice that whatever is told in this shloka, we should try to achieve such focus for at least a few minutes in a day. How do we do that? Find a right time and place. Find the time when you are not going to be disturbed, when nobody is going to come and, ask you for anything. No chance of anyone coming disturbing you. Find that right time. Then find the right place, a peaceful place where there is no noise, there is no disturbance, where nobody is going to come and, do something which will shake your attention. Find this right place and time. Keep a right kind of asana. Now, all these things in much greater detail, Krishna is going to explain in the next chapter. But as we said, here he is giving just the basic outline of what has to be done. So, what the acharyas are explaining: find the right time, find the right place, and having the right asana, sit down. Preferably sit down in Padmasana because that is the posture which promotes the absorption of Sattva Guna. So, sit in that asana. Close your eyes, turn the eyes inwards. When we say close the eyes, if it is completely closed totally, then what will happen is we may tend to fall asleep also. So instead, just lightly close the eyelids and focus your vision. You should not have completely lost the vision. That vision, turn it inwards towards the space between your eyebrows. Sometimes it may be required that you try to look at the tip of your nose also. Either of these things, by doing that, by turning your vision to the space between the eyebrows or to the tip of the nose, focus your mind like this. Then, as you are sitting in this Padmasana quietly with your eyes focused inwards, pay attention to how you are breathing. Make sure that you are breathing in a sama manner. What is that sama manner? That for us, we can do it like a count. Count how many, count say 1 to 5, 1 to 8, whatever is comfortable for you. That many counts to inhale the breath. That same number of counts to hold the breath within you. And the same number of counts to exhale the breath. So this should be done in a way which is comfortable for you. For some people, it may be possible to do it in a very slow way. For some people, it may be a little faster that they are doing it. Whatever it may be, the idea is that by doing this, by making the time equal for the process of inhaling, drawing in the air, holding the breath, and exhaling, letting out the breath. By keeping all these equal, our breathing is going to get regulated. And as our breathing slows down, our mind also will slow down. So pay attention to how you are breathing. And as you do that, turn your mind inwards, cut off the connection with all external things, and focus your attention on the Atma. Focus your attention on the fact that I, this individual, am actually this Jivatma. I am not this Sharira. This Atma is nothing but a servant of the Lord. This Atma has been sent here to do seva to the Lord. This Atma is the one which is Ananta. Whatever you have heard about the Atma, from whatever we have studied from the Bhagavad Gita up till now, we know Atma is Nitya, Atma cannot be cut, it cannot be wetted, it can never be destroyed, it takes on different bodies, it is the source of all joy, it is Satchidananda Swarupa. All these things that you know about the Atma, turn your mind to focus on those thoughts. Think about that. Pay attention to those aspects of the Atma and do like this for at least a few minutes every day. So, this kind of meditation on the Atma, when we do it, let us say we start with just 2 minutes or we start with 5 minutes. Slowly, we extend the time up to 10 minutes or we go up to 15 minutes. Then we will know at least for few moments. Now, just because I sit in this meditation for 15 minutes, it does not mean that all those 15 minutes I will be in samadhi state. Definitely not. But within those 15 minutes, maybe for 2 or 3 seconds, we will be somewhere able to experience the joy, the sukha which is coming from Atmanubhava. If we keep doing it regularly over a long period of time, we keep on practicing in it, slowly we will reach the stage where for that entire duration when I am doing this practice, at least for that much time, I can say that I am in a state of mukti. What is the state of mukti? We said that you have controlled your mind, you have controlled the manas, you have equalized your breath, you have given up connection with the external objects, and because of all these things, when you are focusing on only the Atma, you have given up fear, anger, and desires. So, that kind of a liberated state, that kind of mukti, at least for a few moments, we can start experiencing if we do this type of a meditation. And slowly, as we become more adept at this, as our ability to do this, our skill with this meditation becomes more and more, we will find that slowly during the rest of our day also, if we try to, although we are doing other activities, although we are busy with other things in our life, in the middle from time to time we can for a moment pause and indulge in this kind of a meditation without stopping our external activities. That is a very high stage. But at least for the time that we are sitting quietly in meditation, let us try and practice this thing what the acharyas have explained to us. So if we do this, slowly we will find that that silence, that peace, what we are experiencing during those moments of meditation will spill over into the rest of our day also. So this is what Krishna has explained here about how we must do this yoga. In the next chapter, he's going to give much more details about this. Now, coming to the last shloka, Krishna is giving a final summarizing thing here in the sense that he has been telling Arjuna all along about doing karma, how to do karma, why karma yoga is important, how to make karma into karma yoga, all those things. What are the stages of a karma yogi, which we discussed in last satsang? All those things he's been talking about. But he's very careful to give one note of caution. He tells that how it is possible that when somebody is doing karma yogi, for them to attain the Lord. That is the focus ultimately. Whatever we may do, we must know that whatever we are doing is directed towards the Lord. So he is explaining in this last shloka of the 5th chapter, he is telling Arjuna about that. He is telling, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam nyatva mam shanti mritchati. Having realized me means Krishna is referring to himself, the Supreme Lord. Having realized me as the enjoyer of all the sacrifices and tapas, austerities, recognizing me as the Supreme Lord of all the worlds, and the selfless friend of all living beings, my devotee attains peace. Now, why Krishna is telling this here? At the beginning of the 5th chapter, Arjuna had asked Krishna that should I do karma yoga or I should do karma sannyasa? Should I do actions or I should give up actions? That was the query of Arjuna. Because in the previous chapters, Krishna had talked about, in the 3rd chapter, if you remember, in the 3rd chapter, Krishna had talked about karma yoga. Then in the 4th chapter, he had talked about jnana yoga, which is karma sannyasa, giving up of karma and focusing only on the Atma. Now, at the beginning of this 5th chapter, Arjuna had asked Krishna that you are telling me to do karma also. You are saying that it is superior to give up the fruits of the karma also. So what is it exactly that I should do which is good for me? So throughout this chapter, Krishna has now explained to Arjuna that doing karma yoga is natural to you. You are a kshatriya, you have to do it, why you must do karma yoga, and how you must do karma yoga. Now he is very concerned, Krishna is very concerned that Arjuna should not get lost in only the doing of the action. He should know what is the ultimate purpose for which he is doing that action. That is why in this last shloka, Krishna connects the entire concept of karma yoga to him, to himself. So he is telling that whatever yajnas people do in this world, whatever different types of homa, havana, tapascharya, whatever austerities people are performing in the world, who is the one who is enjoying all that? We are doing yajna, we are making offerings into the homa, we are doing some tapas. Who is the one who enjoys all that? Who is the one who takes all that what we are giving? It is none but the Lord Himself. So He is called Bhokta. He is the supreme enjoyer. He is the one who receives all these things. Another quality of the Lord, He is Sarvaloka Maheshwara. We know the meaning of this. Ishvara means someone who is the Lord. Sarva Loka Maheshwara. He is the Lord of the entire universe. Now we may think that how is it? Many times people are doing some, they are doing Ganapati Homa, or they are doing Chandi Homa, or they are doing some other form of worship. Now, how can you say that it is going to Krishna? Isn't it? So here Krishna is explaining that whatever you do, whatever tapas you are doing, whatever yajna you are performing, ultimately, whichever deity you may be doing it to, you are thinking that you are doing it for Devi or for Ganapati or for this deity, that deity. Whatever you may be doing to whichever deity you do, ultimately within all of them, I am only the one who is Antaryami. I am the one who is sitting within all of these devatas. So whatever you are offering to those devatas, ultimately it is reaching me only. There is a very well-known shloka which expresses this concept. Akashat patitam toyam yata gacchati sagaram sarvadeva namaskara keshavam pratigacchati. Water which falls from the sky during rain, wherever it may fall down to the earth, in whichever place, ultimately it reaches the sagara, it reaches the ocean. Similarly, whichever deity you may worship, whichever devata you are offering your worship to, ultimately all those prayers, all those offerings that you make, they reach to Lord Keshava. So in this idea, Krishna is telling that I am Sarvaloka Maheshwara. You may worship different deities, but ultimately I am the one who is the Lord of the entire universe. And within all of them also, I am Antaryami. So whomever you worship, you are finally worshipping me. So here he is telling, isn't it, Maheshwara? What is this Maheshwara word? Ish refers to someone who is by nature inherently the ruler. So Maheshwara is Maha Ishwara, somebody who is the supreme ruler. Then Krishna tells another of his qualities. He says, I am Suhradam Sarva Bhutanam. For all beings in this universe, for everything which is there in this universe, Sarva Bhutanam, I am Suhrad. I am the one who is their well-wisher. I am the one who is their friend. Without any vested interest for myself, I wish well for all beings. That is the quality which only the Lord can have, isn't it? None of the human beings can claim to have that, because always for us, when we do some activity, we are trying to do some work, or we are trying to do something in this world, we have our eye on what fruit I'm going to get through that. I may do something because I feel that it is going to get some benefit to me. I may not necessarily always be bothered about whether it is going to do good to other people. But the only one in this entire universe who is the well-wisher without any selfishness, in an unselfish manner, who wishes good for everybody in this world, who is that? It is the Lord. So he is calling himself Suhradam Sarvabhutana. Such a person like me, such a me who is Suhradam Sarvabhutana, someone who is Sarvaloka Maheshwara, with all these qualities, whatever a person does, whoever worships me through any form of yajna or tapas, to any deity they may do, it finally reaches me. And a person who does all these things, finally that is the person who gets shanti. That is the person who attains the level of peace. So, what is the message here that Krishna is trying to give? He's saying, do karma, make it karma yoga. How to make karma into karma yoga? By doing all those actions as an offering to me. When you do it with the idea that you are doing it for my pleasure, when you do your activity, your duty, your karma, whatever you are doing, your actions as an offering for me, because you think that you are the servant and you have to please me as the master. When you do things like that as an offering to me, then whatever process you are doing, because your attention is fixed on me, then your process becomes joyful. And here the acharya has given example of how it is a very painful process to give birth to a child. A pregnant woman, when she has to deliver the baby, she undergoes a lot of pain. But is she scared of the pain? She may be scared, and yet she is willing to go through all that pain. Why? Because she has her attention focused on the fact that after this, I'm going to get the baby. So, that fruit of that entire process, she's focusing on that. Similarly, because of that focus of the mother on the fact that the baby is going to come and give so much joy to her, because of that, she happily goes through, she is able to take all the pain in that process. Similarly, just as we do all activities, we may feel that those activities are boring, we may feel those activities are difficult, they are tough, they are taking so much effort from my side, they are causing me so much trouble. Even if we think like that, we will get stuck somewhere. But if we see that we are doing all this as an offering to the Lord, I am doing it for the pleasure of the Lord. When I think like that and I do, then that process becomes joyful. Then we don't feel bored, or we don't feel anxious, or we don't feel upset, or we don't feel angry and irritated when we are doing some work. So Krishna is telling, by telling this shloka, saying that somebody who realizes this, that I am the bhokta of all the sacrifices, I am the one who is Maheshwara, and I am the one who is Suhrad for all the bhutas in this world. By realizing all this, when somebody does, then he attains peace. Now, why normally we don't have peace in whatever we are doing? Because we are thinking that I am doing, I have to do, why I have to do, why I only have to do. What is the why these difficulties are there? We are thinking only about the action, then we don't have peace of mind. We are full of thoughts about that process. We are caught up in that activity that we are doing, and we are not able to see anything good in that. But if we learn to see that whatever action we are doing it as an offering to the Lord. We are doing it for His pleasure, because I am His dasa and He is my master. He is the Swami, I am the dasa. So, with that bhava, when I do, understanding that it is my offering to the Lord, then that karma which I am doing becomes karma yoga. And by going through that path only, I will get to the stage where I join the Lord, when I have union, when I reach the holy feet of the Lord. So that is what Krishna is telling. All this chapter he has told about doing karma yoga, doing karma yoga, doing karma yoga. Now he is cautioning Arjuna that you have to do all these things, Arjuna, but understand that the purpose for which you are doing all this is as an offering to me. When you do it with that bhava, then your process of doing all the karma yoga will become a very joyful process, and you will get the final stage of shanti. You will be able to attain peace which you are seeking for in this world. So these are all the things that Krishna has explained in this fifth chapter. Let us be very grateful. Let us express our gratitude at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna and Guru for inspiring us to learn these things. Let us pray their blessings and grace will be on us. Today we've learned some little practical part that we can adopt in our life to try and calm our turbulent mind, to meditate for at least a few minutes every day. So let us try to do that. Let us put some time aside, whether it is 5 minutes, whether it is 10 minutes. Every day, let us make a practice to do that, and we will definitely attain the peace that Lord has promised us. So, with that, we come to the end of this fifth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. In the next satsang, next Friday, we will take up we will start with the sixth chapter. So, until then, let us try to practice all these things which we've learned so far, especially the part that Lord has told in this shloka today about how to do the meditation. More details will come in the sixth chapter. When those come, we will add those also. But for now, at least let us try to include these many things in our sadhana. Thank you, everybody, for joining this satsang. Today's, yeah, Tulsiram is telling that today is Ekadashi day, and we are blessed that we have had the fortune to have our satsang today. So let us pray for the blessings of the Lord and make whatever efforts we can from our side to attain that level. Thank you, everybody. Namaskar.